Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Dan. So, I'm a secret agent that likes to talk about some spooky stuff, usually the more obscure, low budget horror films from the past. But then again, I probably would have done that regardless of genre because I like these features that hardly anyone would talk about. So anyway, I like Halloween anyway, so here we go. Halloween, oh yeah. So the film titled Weekend of Terror is the film I'll be talking about. Because might as well, of course. But yes, this is again one of these 1970s type of horror films, of course, and the 1970s type stuff have their own charm to them when you think about it. They definitely have their own feel for it, so that counts for something as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, whatever. As always, let's talk about the plot, shall we? What happens here is that when the kidnapped victim is killed accidentally, the amateur criminals decide to grab another woman to replace her in order to collect the original ransom. So one of the criminals is the one named Eddie, ends up kidnapping three nuns. So yeah, that does become a part of the plot, some kind of like religious thing. Well, sort of, I guess. Anyway, the nuns have to do their thing, of course, and the nuns learn that two of them will soon die once the ransom is finally picked up, and a third will get to live free after this. So this is one of these made for television type movies again, folks. And of course, bring that up due to the fact that these types of movies can be really limited in what they can do in the grand scheme of things. Just let you know. But anyway, it's like a horror thriller type of a thing that's going on here. Because of course they would. But yeah, of course, the thing is that can be really limited in what they can do, so you have to be creative in some kind of fashion, obviously. Anyway, that's kind of the thing, though. You have to get creative in the grand scheme of things, even though the budget may not be all that high, but what can you do? It's just trying to do your best with what you had, and the director and everybody involved. That's what did exactly just that. So it does focus, like we are saying, on these criminals. They just want to collect money because they're a bunch of assholes. Because of course they would. That's what they do. But anyway, that's the thing though. Nun returning from what she was doing is met at a bus station by the two individuals. I guess the two other nuns. They have like a thing they would do, of course, but the car breaks down on this desert road, so they decide to pretty much flag down on this motorists, so to speak, this passive motorists don't get the attention. Meanwhile, two escaped convicts have adopted a local businessman's niece with a plan to collect ransom with money, of course, only to have the woman die while attempting to flee, as mentioned a moment ago, from the abandoned house they almost were held up in, of course. So Larry, one of the villains of the story, the kidnapper under whom watched the victim die, passes the nun in their this kind of thing right here, folks, and decides to stop. The nuns mistaken him for a helpful individual, and let's just say that he pretty much to attempts to quote unquote help them out, but he really doesn't, of course. So he just ultimately goes to his hideout where they are placed, and just the chaos will continue from this point onward. So yes, it's not good news for the nuns whatsoever, like at all. So they're pretty much going to hatch a plan, obviously. They soon decide the fate and held them hostage in this locked room, and just hopefully they get what they want. And yes, it does come off like one of these crazy movies. Well, these nuns weren't doing anything. Of course, they were just minding their own business, obviously. But here we are. But that's the thing, though. That's pretty much this grand scheme of this story when it comes to this kind of a thing. Of course, there has to be some kind of drama throughout the entire thing. You have to make the things be interesting in this film or any other movie, for that example. Because stories is always important because of genre. So the thing is that I do find it rather weird that a lot of people seem to believe that just because it's horror related, you can't have good plot, which is unfortunate because it seems rather biased. You can't just dismiss a horror film just because it's a genre. Just because of what? Just what I'm trying to say is that here is that yes, it's a horror movie, but that shouldn't stop it from attempting to have a good story. What I'm saying is that a lot of people tend to be really biased when it comes to this kind of a stuff. It's just that it's kind of funny in a rather depressing sort of way, where the people who are often really prejudiced towards horror films are these religious folks because they think that these type of movies are just bad for your soul or whatever, which just seems asinine when you think about it. Because you watching horror films does not make you a bad person. Which, yes, this is something I've discussed before in various other videos. I just thought I'll bring it here because it has something to do with nuns. Really, I'm not going to spend the entire video speaking about this, of course. I'm just pointing that out. Just do think that, what do you know, a horror movie could have some decent acting and a solid story as a whole. People seem to dismiss that for some odd reason, just because it's horror related. That's really stupid. But anyway, I just think that people should give these movies a chance, even though, despite the fact that it's a horror movie. But anyway, nevertheless, I just find it kind of odd that these types of individuals seem to just dismiss these types of movies just because of that, which of course is ridiculous. Just give these movies a chance. Just because they're from a certain genre doesn't mean they should be bad right off from the start, obviously. But anyway, okay, just like a slight rant over. It just bothers me that I just find it really annoying that these people seem to be all righteous. They act as if they have all the answers or whatever, which is not the case. Obviously, they really don't. But that's the thing, though. Trying to claim that these movies are terrible, I just don't see the connection here. I really don't. Anyway, okay, like I said, just a slight rant over. Anyway, as for the movie itself, like I was saying, it's fine. It wasn't too shabby as a whole. I do think that this is that type of movie I wouldn't mind recommending because I can see what they were trying to do here. I can see what they were attempting to get here when it comes to the story. But it's just one of these types of movies I wouldn't mind recommending because I know they were trying to at least make an attempt to make a solid movie, obviously. And that's the thing, though, when it comes to this movie. Yeah, I guess it's a bit more flexible because it's low budget. It's not like you have to obey what a lot of these types of and studio interference type of stuff. I know a lot of people don't like the fact that studios interfere with be bothersome, which yes they can, but when it comes to low budget stuff, you don't necessarily have to worry about that whatsoever, really. So there's that because of the fact that you can just be as creative as you want, at least as creative as you could anyway, when it comes to these types of storylines. Because, well, anyway, I'll give this film an overall rating of a 7.0 out of 10. It's a 7.0 out of 10 for me. So, of course, as always, thanks for watching and take care. Until next time, see ya. Oh, yeah, later.